2020 may have been a pretty rough year for a lot of people, but I'll tell you what, as far as some really great video games coming out, we have gotten some real gems. So I really want to take today and talk about my personal favorite games that I got to enjoy in 2020. So before we get started, I did think long and hard about how I wanted to do this. Like, am I going to rank them? Am I going to do, this is the best of a genre? And what I decided on is to do my top 3 games for each, like major company. So top 3 for Nintendo, top 3 for Sony, top 3 for Microsoft. That way I can kind of cover, like, the Series X and the Xbox One and the PS4 and the PS5. And also, these top 3, they're not going to be in any order. It's just like, these are the top 3 games that I enjoyed. I mean, 1 and 3 could easily be flip-flopped. I will say this, though, because some games are obviously not going to be on there that are, like, would seem very obvious. One is Ghost of Tsushima. God, I said that right. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't get to play that game because I have a regular base PS4. And I really wanted to experience it on the PS4 Pro, so actually I'm waiting until I get a PS5 if that ever happens, with the scalpers and all. So that one's obviously not on the list. Another one that's a major game that would seem like a very weird miss for me is going to be Animal Crossing, only because I never played it. I'm not the biggest Animal Crossing fan, but I cannot downplay how important that game was for so many people, especially because that game seemed to come out when a lot of states were doing a quarantine. So, like, I'm going to give the nod of, like, that game is extremely important this year. It's just not on my list. But anyway, without any more wasting time, let's go into the list. So I'm going to start this list off with probably one of my favorite consoles, just hands down ever, and that's the Switch. Talking about the Switch and talking about my favorite things, obviously my favorite thing in this entire world is my beautiful wife, and that is why the first game I really want to talk about is Untitled Goose Game. If you saw the little playthrough my wife and I did, we had so much fun with this game. For those who are unaware of what this game is, you're basically just a goose that goes around wreaking havoc, causing a bunch of problems, and basically checking off a list of things to do in the game, in the town, and all the different areas. The thing that makes this game so great, though, and first off, I know, it's not originally a 2020 game, but it is a 2020 game for the Switch, and specifically what I'm really talking about here is the co-op mode. They added the co-op mode that, I actually hadn't played the game previous to this, so I feel like the co-op mode definitely probably made it way easier. But that being said, this game is fantastic. It is a fun time, couch co-op, and like I said, any game that my wife loves is definitely on my list of top games. Speaking of crazy co-op games and stuff of that nature, though, this is going to be a very weird inclusion. Don't get me wrong, but I have to give a nod to Fight Crab. This game is insane. So I made the video on it, but what y'all didn't see was the fact that when I got this game, my good friend Cameron was in town, and we were basically playing this game to get all the footage, and we just couldn't put it down. It is just crazy bonkers fun. It's co-op. You can also go against each other, of course. But once again, if for some reason you haven't seen that video, just the rough explanation of what's going on. It's a physics-based crab simulation battle game, if that makes sense. They have all sorts of different kinds of crabs, lobsters, and crustaceans. A crazy amount of weapons, from swords to guns to, like, rockets to, like, a Vespa scooter. Basically, you're just going around, like, whomping other crabs, and the whole thing is, the way you actually beat the enemy is to flip them upside down and, like, hold them upside down for a certain amount of time. The game is crazy, and if you're into some kind of, like, nutso, couch co-op, bonkers fun, this is definitely a game you need to check out, and that's a big point of why it's on this list. Before I talk about my last Switch game, I have to kind of put a glaring omission also. I know I already said I was omitting some games before, but, the Mario 3D Collection is something I really, really loved, but where a port is fantastic and a remaster is amazing, basically a remake is what we want here, and that's what I'm talking about with my third choice, and that is Trials of Mana Remake. This game is beautiful. They have taken the game, it's a top-down, sprite-based action RPG game, and remade it from the ground up to be this beautiful, bright-colored, high-intensity, just fully voice-acted 3D action RPG. It is fantastic. One of the things I really love most about this game, though, is the replayability. There's so many characters, you can switch them around, basically make different parties to have different scenarios, plus the storylines intertwine and change. It is just a wonderful game. The thing I really like about it is it's kind of short, so like playing through it, the first time I was like, man, that's great, but I just had that itch to go back and really play it again with more characters, just to kind of see what they went through. I had to have an RPG on this list, especially for the Nintendo Switch anyway, and what better one than a game that they built from the ground up, from already an amazing, beautiful pedigree. So going on to Sony, I'm going to have a little bit of a disclaimer. For Sony and Microsoft, some of their games that are on my list are going to be multi-platform, and that's just the name of the game, and I'm going to go by which console I played them on first. And so the first one I want to talk about is the Resident Evil 3 Remake. I actually did play this at a friend's house first on the PS4. Later on, I ended up getting it myself for the Xbox, but first time I played it was on the PS4, and oh my god, this game is so stinking good. Just like the Trials of Mana that I just got done talking about, I love the fact that it's short. Like, I like that I can go through and beat it, in a few days and have a quick little thing, but I can also go back to it and do different stuff. But beyond all that, this game is just straight up beautiful. I know they changed a few things from the original. Some people had some hiccups about that. For me personally, I actually didn't get to play the original, so for me, it was like a, brand new, fresh game. But the combat was great, just the game feel was phenomenal, and, just overall, this was a very great entry into the Resident Evil series. I know we just got off the heels of talking about how great remakes are opposed to everything else, and this one is no different. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh my god. People have been waiting for this game, obviously, for years, but they did it right. They knocked it out of the park. The graphics are beautiful. The gameplay is phenomenal, and even for people who are really stuck on turn-based, they even had that pseudo turn-based mode. But if you've played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the game that everyone wanted. The only downside I'd say is the fact that it's not really the full game, but we all know that the next parts are coming. Plus, they've managed to change it enough to get people kind of hooked into this new, like, pseudo differences. Who knows where the game's gonna go, kind of thing. It's one of those things where when you have a remake, you know what the plot's gonna be if you played the original. But this game's really keeping us on our toes. Like I said, the combat's amazing, the graphics are amazing, and this game was a dream to play. So this game definitely converted me, and that is Demon's Souls for the PS5. I historically and vocally on this channel have never been a Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. I am not that person. Something about fighting the same enemy with a giant life bar, having to do the same maneuver over and over and over again, only to get one shot at the very last second, has never appealed to me at all. But I will say that my mind has totally changed with Demon's Souls, and I don't know why. I have no rational reason why. The game's beautiful, yes. The combat's pretty fun, yes. But, at its core, it's no different than those games I just named. I don't know why, but it is just great. It is such a fun time. And, every time I died, I would get a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and it just made me want to, like, grit my teeth and jump right back into it. The monsters are crazy and creepy. You really have to dig and find the lore itself. Gosh, this game is phenomenal. It is, right now, it is like the reason to own a PS5 in my opinion. Nothing against the other games, the third-party games, and Spider-Man and what have you, but this game is just amazing, and it looks so good on the PS5, it runs so good on the PS5, and it is just a brutal, challenging, and very, very fun time. Moving on to the Xbox, oh man, I have to give this, there's so many reasons why I love this game. So many reasons why I love this game. The outstanding music, the phenomenal gunplay, the phenomenal gameplay, the game feel, the speed, the adrenaline. Everything about Doom Eternal is freaking the best. This game is brutal. This game is like just brutality the game. It is so fun. This is one of those games, though, I will say this. This is one of those games where, in my opinion, of course, play it on different difficulties for a challenge, but the most just straight fun you're going to have, throw this on normal or easy, whatever they call the easy difficulty, and just go through like a Golden God murder spree. I mean, that is so fun. A good way to de-stress after a long day of work, or, some annoying meeting you had. Just get home and just blow demons away to the crazy heavy metal gent soundtrack. Doom Eternal is so good. I mean, the plot is crazy, the gameplay is nuts, and I just cannot get enough of this game. I'm glad they even came out with DLC. Because I got to go back to it. This game is, this is a top game, just not just for Microsoft, just all across the board for me. But definitely one of my favorite games I played this year. I have put over 400 hours into Phantasy Star Online 2 this year. I don't know how I did that. I'm a little bit disgusted in myself. So because of that, I basically have to put this game on this list out of obligation. But you know what? I love this game. This game is so fun to play with friends. And being one of those online games that kind of changes with the times, it's really cool to go through and just see all the different stuff. Like right now, for instance, there's this wonderful Christmas event with great Christmas music going on. Christmas-based challenges and bingo cards and like items you can get. But it's been like that all year. I mean, the game itself is phenomenal. It's very fun. They have a whole bunch of different classes and gear, cosmetic stuff, weapon skins, all sorts of fun stuff. And then, this game has a whole world to it, beyond the fact that you have the actual gameplay itself, which is great to play with friends. You can also go through the ship and talk with all the characters, build relationships. It has a full-on casino with like blackjack and slot machines and all sorts of stuff that has no like bearing on the game at all. It's just a fun distraction to like kind of go through and hang out at. And one of the even coolest things is the fact that you have your own like house. And I love games where you can go through and kind of trick out your own place. I guess it is kind of crazy that I don't play Animal Crossing, but I mean, this is just such a good time. Like, you can go through and so many varying items you could do here. I mean, my house, for instance, has like a Japanese bathhouse in it, but also like a medieval entryway. It's just crazy. Like I said, this game came out this year. They've crammed so much into this year because they're getting ready for next year with a big update change. It's going to be a global, worldwide release. So for us here in America, they're basically catching up 8 years worth of content in 8 months. So it's been like going at the speed of light, but I just cannot get enough of Phantasy Star Online 2. This is just one of my favorite games, I think, in recent history. This kind of has filled my my games as a service itch. I used to play Destiny a lot. But, for me, it's all about PSO2. So this game is brand new. And I mean, like, brand new, like, 3 days old as of I'm recording this, brand new. And I'll tell you what, that is just a testament to what an impression it has made on me. Cyberpunk 2077 might be one of the best games I have played, not only this year, but, like, this decade. I am just getting into it, and I know, before I get too far, I know that a lot of people are having struggles playing this on last gen tech, which is not right. I mean, obviously it was made technically for last gen tech, but I'll tell you what, playing it on my Xbox Series X, this game is beautiful. It runs so good. I haven't even got to talk about it on the channel, so like, also let's count this as a pseudo review. I mean, the game itself is so great. There's so many ways to do everything. I mean, any singular mission you can go through and you can either talk your way through it, you can hack your way through it, you can stealth your way through it, you can just straight combat your way through it. There's just so many things to do. It is crazy. And the only problem I would say about this game, and this is a personal problem 100%, is I'm such a like keep my inventory clean and clear kind of person, that I find myself pressing pause like after every big event to like clear out my inventory and break stuff down and sell things. And like as actually it was pointed out to me the other day when someone was watching me stream it, they're like, yeah, watching you play this game is pretty cool, but I feel like half the time I've been watching you've been in menus. And that is like literally 100% my fault. You do not have to play that way. That's just my OCD kicking in. But I mean, this game is so fun. I cannot get enough of it. Here's the crazy thing. As of recording this, I've played it for maybe like 10 hours. And like 10 hours in, I'm doing this huge mission. A whole bunch of crazy stuff happens. I will not go over specifics because it is like, very plot related. And a whole bunch of stuff goes down. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is a big thing. It's a big chunk of the game. And after I beat this mission, it said like Cyberpunk. Like basically I had just started the game. Like, it was like the title screen. So, I mean, I was 10 hours in, and basically that's when the title screen came up like, hey, welcome to Night City. You're playing this game right now. Get it. And oh my God, it was insane. I mean, like, it opened my eyes. I was like, holy crap, wait, what? I mean, there's so much to do. This game is amazing. It's just amazing. It's graphically beautiful. The gunplay is fantastic. The swordplay is fantastic, and I'm just dipping my toes into it. I feel like this is definitely going to be one of my games of the decade for sure. It's that good. But hey, these have been my favorite games that I've played this year. Let me know what kind of stuff you guys played this year and what you think. So those are the games I really, really enjoyed this year. Like I said, it was a fantastic year for some high quality games that came out. And with a lot of people having more time at home, really, it was a good time to experience some of these games. Someone like me, I'm getting older, it's hard to be as busy as I am and still have time to play these things. So, with a little bit more time, it was nice to really get to sit down and enjoy them. But hey, what'd you guys think? What are your favorite games for the different consoles, for the different companies? I'm really interested to know, what kind of got you through this crazy year. But hey, leave that down in the comments below. That's going to do it for us today, guys. Hey, once again, thank you so much for watching. 2020 is almost over. We're so close. Hopefully 2021 will have some really fun, awesome games as well. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Leave a comment, dislike if you feel any kind of way. And hey, as always, take it easy.